This is Evelyn Chevalier, the newest fire attacker S rank that is coming out, and she dishes out a ton of damage. As one of the #1 Soldier 11 fanatics, you'd think I'd be sad with Evelyn Chevalier coming out and directly power creeping her in the fire attacker sphere, but I'm actually ecstatic for both of them because, as J. Cole said, they act like two legends can't coexist. Now I just have two goats I can run for fire DPS. But Evelyn comes out very soon here, and this video is going to be showcasing everything you can do to maximize your Evelyn, talking about her very cool chain attack playstyle, how to dish out the most amount of damage with her team comps, the weapons you want to be running on her disc set, and so on. So without further ado, let's get right into it, and if this video helps you out, make sure to subscribe. I would appreciate that, and let's get right into it. Also, side note, I stream every day, twitch.tv/gibbb. Come through! So this is Evelyn, and while she has a pretty easy gameplay, she also has some depth to her, which we will be explaining later. But the basics of her kit are, she has a 5-hit basic attack combo, which will give her 1 Ember, but you're never going to be doing this. And then we have her skill, which has 2 variants of it, and this skill also can be used as a dodge for enemies as well. And this skill is pretty good for grouping enemies because it has 2 variants of it, where you EX and then EX again, which will give you the second version of it. And then she also has the binding seal, where an enemy, when they are binded, is going to give her 25 crit rate, which is crazy. And she's pretty much going to have 100% uptime on this because even when the bind leaves, she keeps up the buff for 10 seconds. And lastly, she is also able to chain attack enemies without them even being stunned, which is crazy. Alright, so let's talk about Evelyn's meter here. We're gonna go in-game and test this, no voiceover, because when I voiceover, I always feel like I'm a bot. Anyways, she has Burning Embers. It's like her main resource here, like Jane Doe's Passage State, you know, Zhuyuan's Bullets, all of that here, you know, Astra Yao's Quick Assist. She has her own meter, and these Burning Embers, once they fill up to 3, it's gonna allow her to do her chain attack. Now, what you want to be doing in combat is filling up the left meter over here, which is going to give her the Burning Tethers, and do one of those. And every time you do one of those, you know, Garrote spinning attacks, I think that's the actual like name of it, you're going to get a stack. And once you have 3 of them, you're going to be able to do a chain attack. Now, when she's in her ultimate, she only spends 2, but when you are out of her ultimate, she is going to always spend 3. So the quickest way I found for stacking up her form is always going an EX into a basic attack 3-5. So you should never be doing any physical damage here because you will always be going EX into basic attack 3-5, as you can see. Also, with her Garrote attack, you can actually have them go back to back like that, like I just showed you. And another thing, when doing your Garrote attack here, you never want to actually hold to go into it because you have to do your basic attack 1-2 to go into there. You always want to EX into your Garrote because that will be faster than doing your regular combo into it. So just to showcase that again, so if we have like this, she's going to do her physical attacks before she does it, but if you go and EX into it, you can directly combo it, if that makes any sense right there. Then we also have her chain attack playstyle, which we will get into when we get to an actual boss because you can't triple stun on these bosses. I wish they added one. I think they can really work on the VR system, I'm not gonna lie. They could add so much to the VR system. Like, I think the enemy type should have cards and all that, but anyways, this is an Evelyn guy. No one wants to hear my thoughts on the game and stuff like that. So we have her ultimate as well, just to showcase her ultimate and the fact that you only get 2 points taken away here, as you can see. So when I go into a chain attack, only 2 points get taken away here, and you can pretty much usually get like 2 of these within it before the enemy dies when you're actually fighting something. You're usually going to stay in co-off mode for the rest of the fight after you ult. Yeah, you're always going to be in co-off mode after you do your first ultimate there. Alright, quick little intermission to talk about Evelyn's gear here. It's pretty simple. She doesn't have a set in the game, so you're either going to be using 4-piece Woodpecker Electro, or you're going to be using a 4-piece of Harmone Punk. There's also some rare use cases for Puffer Electro on her, but I think this is very niche and depends greatly on what you're fighting and like what your team is and everything. I personally would just stick to using Woodpecker Electro. And for your 2 pieces, you're either going to use 2-piece Fire, 2-piece crit damage, or using two-piece attack of either Astral Voice or Hormone Pump, whichever one you have. Also, regarding the main stats you go on Evelyn, it's pretty straightforward. You go attack on your disc 6 here. On slot 4, you're going either pen ratio or fire damage. And then on your slot 4, you're most likely going to be on crit damage, but for some reason you're not able to get to 80 crit rate for her core passive. You could go a crit rate, but I highly recommend going crit damage and trying to get the crit rate from your sub stats. Now getting into Evelyn weapons, obviously her signature weapon is her best weapon here, and then after this comes the Brimstone, which is Soldier 11's signature weapon that you get from the standard banner. It is a tack main, but Evelyn gives herself a ton of crit, so it doesn't really affect you that much, but she does need 80 crit for her passive there. And we also have the Marcado's Desire, which was a free-to-play weapon from last patch, but if you didn't play it, it unfortunately is not available anymore. So your best other option would be the Starlight Engine, which is another attack weapon here. Alright, so let's quickly go over Evelyn's dupes here, her cinemas, her mindscapes, whatever you want to call them. If you want exact numbers on like how much these increase, I highly recommend checking out like Rivenus or Kana or someone who does, or I Want to Lose, someone who does the percentages on all of the dupes. I personally ain't doing all that, but you know, if you're a whale and you wish, half of the people that whale for characters don't even know what this stuff does before they buy it. They just be swiping that junk and they learn what the character does after. So I mean, half the people don't even care how much it increases, they just like the character and they just swipe for that junk. But, you know, you never really need copies of characters, but if you are going to go for them, her C1 gives her a defense shred, makes her start the fight with 1.5k decibels, and it makes it so that her skill can hit more enemies with the Binding Sunder, because it usually only binds one person. Her second one makes it so her attack increases by 15% unconditionally, and her basic attack can not consume the Burning Ember every 25 seconds. You can do 3 instead of 2, I guess, which is pretty cool. And it also increases her interruption level on enemies. I'm assuming that's what this means. Her fourth one has when she does a chain attack or ultimate, she gets a shield, and while she has a shield, she gets 40 extra crit damage, just a stat boost. And her sixth one seems like it turns her into a monster, and she's already a monster. After she does a chain attack or ultimate, she gets Shadow String Edge, which will make it so that if she does like pretty much any attack, she gets a extra Lunalix Garrote besides the ones that she can normally cast. That'll do 375% of her attack, and it's considered chain attack damage, and it can be done to 16 times. I mean, I don't even know an enemy you could hit 16 Evelyn chain attacks on. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't even think Deadly Assault guys can take that. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, pretty crazy here. You know, if you spend like 2k, she becomes a nuke. I mean, yeah, you know. All right, so now let's get into a showcase of Evelyn and her teams, and let's talk about what you can be running her with. Now, I have a lineup here of teams if you have Astra, teams if you have light or no Astra, and if you don't have either, you're pretty much going to just be running Kaleda in lighter slot, and you would be able to run those teams with her, if that makes any sense there. And if you are very free to play or new to the game and you have literally nothing but you really want Evelyn, this is probably going to be the team you run, and it won't really matter as much since you're very early into the game and probably a solo Evelyn could clear most of the content for you. But as you see here, starting from the very best, we have her signature team, which is going to be Evelyn paired with Lighter and Astra Yao. But as you can see, once we go down here, if you don't have Lighter but you have Astra, you can run Kaleda. You could also run Caesar in that slot. You could also run Chingy in that slot. And you can also run double support, which features Nicole and Astra, because this team puts out a lot of damage even when the enemy is not stunned. Now, if you have Lighter and you don't have Astra Yao, we have Lighter with Caesar, we have Lighter with Nicole, we have Lighter with Lucy, and we have Lighter with Rena. Now, the Nicole, Caesar, and Lucy teams are going to be way better than with Rena. Just keep that in mind. And Nicole and Caesar are going to be some of the better teams here, but Lucy is also good as well. And like I said, just to reiterate at the start, if you don't have Lighter, you would probably be replacing him with Kaleda in these teams. Now, if you don't have Kaleda, that's when you're, you know, at the bottom of the barrel right here running this team. I almost forgot to add also, I keep saying Kaleda, Chingy also can go in this slot as well if you don't have Lighter. I forgot to include that, you know, could also be running Qingyi in here. Also, one other thing I'd like to include in terms of teams here, when you're running something like Astra with a lighter and an Astra Yao, you can actually put your lighter on the quick assist set and actually have your Astra Yao be on the support set, because you'll be getting more overall buffs compared to just having your stunner be on the 4-piece of the Shockstar Disco, because most stunners stun within a time frame that doesn't change much from you having the 4-piece set, except for Qingyi. But I think even with Qingyi, you can also run this as well. I may be wrong on that, not the biggest Qingyi, specialist, but this does end up giving you more buffs overall when you run the Astra Yao set on your stunner and have the support set on your Astra Yao, because then you can have both buffs versus just having one of them. And to finish off the video here, we have some Evelyn team showcases here with Astra Yao and lighter. I'm going to put one Kaleda one in there as well, and then we are going to finish off with a deadly assault run with Evelyn on her signature lighter and Astra Yao on their free-to-play equivalent weapons. And that is going to end off the video. Hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Go beyond my limit, not to compromise. And you can tell me if I mean it, looking in my eyes. Cause I've been waiting for my moment to strike. So come close, let me show you what it's like. Yeah, you can try to stand in my path, but you're gonna regret it. I'll be the one who laughs last while I'm making my exit. Cause this is only for the strong of heart, not if you get it. And no matter what the outcome, you better